Okay, we have started streaming. Let's see if some people show up. Linberson, are you there? I can hear you. It's always good. Some technical difficulties starting the stream. But we're waiting for people to show up, so I guess it's fine. Should probably try to optimize the brightness of the camera. I just turned it on, so it's a bit darker than usually is. Usually takes some time to... well, I can make it yellow, but that's not really what I want. Let's try auto. Yeah, that looks perfect. Yeah, maybe not. Exposure. Nope, just makes things worse. Yeah, so camera still needs to warm up. We will have yellow camera. Linberson, are you there? I'm not hearing you.
Yeah, now I'm back.
Now you're back, okay. Good. We are already streaming.
You were gone. I didn't... Alright. Hi everyone.
Well, I don't know if we have any viewers yet. I don't think it's announced on Warzone yet. It takes like 10 minutes or something to show up. Let's test real quick. Oh no, it's already there. Warzone Berlin open Q&A with Linberson. Okay. So we should be listed, so we will start having a few people. Yeah, Terminator is complaining of the background noise. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with my mic today. It's giving me this weird hiss. I don't know what it is.
Alright, I mean, should we just wait for another 5 minutes or should we start straight away?
We should wait a little while longer for some people to show up, at least.
I can see Fizzer, Kezo, Okani, Terminator. I'm not logged in, I can't see myself.
You are invisible.
Yeah, for now.
And that's what's important. Could it be the speakers that's doing the sound until they shut down? Let me try to shut them down manually. Where's the button? Okay, this one is off. Okay, is the background noise any better? Or is it still the same?
I think it's still the same.
Fuck. Maybe noise reduction isn't working like it usually is by some reason. Let me check. Troubleshoot sound problems. This is gonna break everything. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna troubleshoot. I wanna open that information. Speakers. Nope. Volume mixer. Spatial sound. No, I don't want spatial sound. Destroying virus, what are you doing here? This is not your game. You're Vainglory guy, not Warzone. Go away. So how many people do I have on the chat? Only 7, so not that many. I think we should wait a couple more minutes for more people to show up from Vainglory itself. Either way, we're gonna have this like recorded and it's gonna be on the YouTube afterwards, so...
Yeah, alright, I guess people can then just check in later.
I wanted to see if I could fix the playback device, so... Oh, Destroying Virus is here to cheer me on. Thanks, mate. I still don't know what the hell is wrong with my mic, though. Maybe try turning it off and on again. Properties. No. Levels. Advanced. Where's that, like... No. Configure? No. Fuck. Usually there's like a noise reduction thing that I can turn off and turn on, but I can't seem to find it right now. Well, fuck it. It is what it is. If you don't like hiss, then, you know, don't listen to it. Tune it out with your mind. So, I guess we should get started. So, Linberson, hello, welcome to the stream. How are you doing?
Fine. I'm fine.
We are here to talk about the Berlin Open, which you are organizing. So, when is the Berlin Open supposed to be? Or do you want to go like one slide at a time? How do you want to proceed?
I mean, my idea was to first talk about the initial idea, but I guess everyone already saw that
we should still mention it, because, you know, if people are checking the video without knowing what it is. So for those who don't know what Warzone is at all, it's a Risk clone online that we play a lot. And yeah, so we are finally organizing a live meeting, or Linberson is organizing a live meeting in Berlin. And we've been doing calls for activities that we could have, ideas for things we can present or do. We also did a vote for the dates that would be more convenient, and apparently the dates that won was 16 to 18 of February 2018. Is this correct?
Yeah, exactly. That's the date where most people can show up, and I think that's the most important thing, that as many people show up.
So, what more do you want to tell us about the idea of the Berlin Open?
Maybe you can just switch to the next slide. And okay. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy Warzone, but I think going to a live event is like one step further. I'm really looking forward to it, and yeah, to meet a few of my clanmates.
How many people from GG are going? Do you know yet?
Mifran and Flying Bender are coming, and I'm still hoping to convince Ko, but yeah.
Flying
I
Bender
don't think it's very long.
Wasn't Flying Bender Italian, or am I mistaken?
Yeah, he's Italian. But
okay.
Yeah, but he's coming, and Mifran, he's living in Sweden, I think. Yeah, those guys are flying in.
That's the good thing about Berlin, is that you can. It has a lot of good connections with airplane to other cities.
Yeah, I mean, it's Central Europe, and so far I think for most people it's easily reachable, as long as you don't live in the US. Yeah, so I'm sorry for the US guys, but yeah, we had to settle for something.
You have to organize your own stuff in the US if you want to have an open there. So what are the schedule activities for this Berlin Open? Do you have it lined out yet?
No, so the schedule itself is still very flexible. Right now I'm thinking about starting on Friday at 6. I will have a sign-up form later, and then also check with people. I mean, if some of them still have to work on Friday, if they even can make it till 6, or I mean, if there's only 5 people at 6 there, then yeah, we should wait a bit. But the idea is to start with something lightweight, maybe an FFA or a small tournament with different templates. So, and in the latest slides, I laid out some of the gaming concepts that I think are interesting. And Saturday is going to be the big day, where most of the tournaments should happen. And on Sunday, again, I'm not sure when people have to leave, so I will just put down some small things. Yeah, and one more interesting question is how we should use live streams and, I mean, online tournaments to have everyone who's not coming to Berlin participate. So, and I think that's quite interesting.
That's a good question. Do we want to have more focus on local people playing locally, or open for all? I guess we can have both, but We were talking about some live stream settings, because since we are locally, we can do some special live stream stuff where we actually stream the computer that the people are playing, watching their face, watching their moves, and put it all together on the same thing, and you can send it out, and so people can see what people are actually thinking and doing while they're actually playing, which we usually don't have on live stream. We only see like the turns going forward as the game evolves. So this, I'm very excited to see that. I think it will be like a totally new thing. It's a feature that I had asked Fizzer before.
Getting frustrated and start cussing.
Yeah,
so I think the focus of the general event should be on the people who are in Berlin. But of course, we can have a few set things that incorporates the whole Warzone community.
Yeah, for sure. I would like to see a proper schedule of things. I think if you have a lot of games, it will be you might be running late. Another important question is, will you have like a tournament where you actually win money out of it?
Okay, so far that hasn't been on my mind. I mean, we could do it. Like everyone who's in Berlin puts in some euros, and then the winner gets a doll or something like that. But yeah,
like real life distribution of coins. I mean, it could, for some people, it might help them consider to attend. I don't know, I'm just saying. Like, if you have like 100 and well, we won't have 128 players, I think. You know, I could be wrong. How big is the venue place? Like, for how many people are you expecting to show up?
I mean, so far I was always planning with something around 30 people. It's also what I ask in the thread where asking where people are interested. And the venue that we have right now, so there's two venues that are still talking with, and one of them is my university. So, and they have a room that's easily accessible, and they have Wi-Fi and everything. And yeah, like we talked about Ethernet, I would have to talk to the tech guy, but I guess it's doable. And they said 30 fits it fine. But I haven't seen the room yet. It's on a different campus than I am on, so yeah, I will definitely go check it out. And then I'm also in contact with a local club that's like a hackerspace, and they have a really funky space that's definitely crazy. So they have like it's like a spaceship that landed in Berlin, and they kind of build their hackerspace like that.
And that sounds cool.
Yeah, that sounds cool. So I have a meeting with their advisory board on the 14th, and I will then decide, or we will decide together which venue we can have. So I think the coolest place would definitely be the hackerspace. I still need to convince their board that yeah, they should let us in. And the most troubling thing is probably going to have someone who has the keys and yeah, wants to participate and yeah, let us in and let us out and open the place up. The nice thing about this venue is that it's way more central. Yeah, so my university is not really central.
So what about prices for each of the venues?
So I talked to the club, the Hackerspace, and they said if this is non-commercial, we should donate something. But they also didn't really say what they're expecting. And I had a quotation from my university. This would be roughly 700 euros. Okay. Yeah, so if you break it down to an hourly price, that's quite cheap. But if you have to pay it all at once, it quite depends on how many people are coming. Like if only 15 people are attending, then it's going to be expensive, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the big question is whether the hackerspace, whether I can convince them And sadly enough, there was a different hackerspace, which this was really like the perfect venue. They were central, they had a really nice place, like they had 2 rooms that we could have used, but they said, yeah, we don't have enough people to let you in general it would have been fine. Yeah, and they said next time maybe ask a bit earlier, so yeah, it's quite...
Oh, okay. That's
yeah.
a shame.
Yeah, that's really a shame.
What about lectures? You have on the slide saying lectures. Which ones do you have in mind? Like, how many were you considering? What topics?
Yeah, so the lectures, I mean, you could just switch to slide 3.
Okay. Lectures are knowledge transfer and have a longer lasting effect. Thus, in my opinion, they should be an essential part of the Berlin Open.
That's already slide 4.
Okay, I'm going one back then. Gaming, easy to set up. Lecture, take time and effort beforehand. Lectures need to be prepared as well.
There was a discussion at the last Wargaming Live, right? Whether it should be more game focused or more lecture focused, and I think the gaming part is really easy to set up. Like, it takes me 10 or 20 minutes to think of a nice tournament that I would like to do and to set it up. But the lectures, you really need to prepare them beforehand, and like you already said on the next slide, those lectures should have a longer lasting impact. And we have a few ones set, but I would really like everyone to think like, what kind of lectures could you do? Like, in my ideal would be that everyone who attends has something to say, or like a nice game to analyze or something, you know. We've got Kenny from Masters or Apex. He said he wants to do an online lecture on coaching, so that's goals, motivation, and time management, which I think if, for most Warzone players, sooner or later, yeah, you need to think about how much time do you spend on Warzone and what do you want to achieve.
I'm not sure if online will work very well, if people will not, you know, lose attention from what's being said. But I mean, we can try. I was hoping that actually that today you would already have like a schedule of things that you want to have, because if it's left in the open, you're going to be like 1 week before the event and you still don't know exactly what you're going to do.
Yeah, definitely. And the point here is that there should really be more input from other people. Like, I can ask someone, like, do you want to do a lecture? And they're like, oh yeah, I could do this, I could do that. But so far there hasn't been that much commitment.
So where should people go to participate in that?
Pardon?
Where should people go? How do they contact you to do that? Should they just message you directly? Should they join the Discord?
Directly, but there's the forum thread, and there was also one forum thread where I put down some ideas. I would really like. There has been a few ones that I really would like to see, but I didn't get anyone convinced to do them. So maybe you can just check them out. There was a thread called Berlin Open, and then something with lectures.
Okay.
What kind of lectures do you want? So I think interesting is skills for clan leadership, like how do clans work and how do you have like how to make your clan last. Like, for example, I was in Blitz, and Blitz basically collapsed at the end of last clan lead. So, and what does other clans keep on going? I mean, okay, you are one of the few players who aren't in a clan, but most of the competitive community is in the clan, and yeah, what keeps them going?
There is this concept called bar camp, where you don't really organize that much beforehand. It's like the people who are attending are supposed to do the talks, so they suggest themselves what talk they want to do, and when you arrive on the first hour, everyone introduces themselves and they propose a talk, and you schedule the talks at the event itself. So there is a little pre-planning. Usually it's just like a wiki. If you're planning to go, you should put your name there and say what topic you would like to talk about. And I think that might be a good way to figure out what talks could happen on Berlin Open, and also to introduce people to each other. You know, on the first hour you have a round where you just everyone speaks up. Hello, I am this. I come from whatever. I've been playing Warlight since 2011. Well, I have the idea of giving this lecture. I think we should play this, this, and that. And based on all the feedback from people who are actually at the event at the time, you start drawing up on the whiteboard the activities for, you know, the afternoon, stuff like that. I think that might be a good idea to solve that problem.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I don't really want to do like 10 lectures and then tell people what they have to do. I would rather have people come and say, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that. So yeah, and we will definitely have like an like when everyone arrives, just talk about like what's the best way. I will do like a in my mind I would like to do like a framework, like what can happen when, and when should we have a break, and this kind of stuff. But in general, it would be much nicer if everyone who attends, like you said, brings a lecture or a cool game to play or whatever.
Yep.
And I also thought, like, if we do tournaments with the with the Warzone community, I'm going to ask people who can't attend to if they can organize the tournament, so that, let's say, we can do at least one online tournament, and we will set a time, and then everyone knows, okay, on Saturday at 4 p.m. Central European time there's going to be the online tournament. And then someone just organize it who's not in Berlin.
Yep. Okay, that sounds good. So shall we go on with the slides? Slide number 5. Lectures that are confirmed. Kenny will do the coaching, goals, motivation, time management. I guess this one will be remote. Huizinga will do a beer tasting lecture. What I'm interested in beer tasting because I'm a crafts beer person. So can you tell us a little bit more about this? Do you know more details?
No, I just had a common game with Huizinga, and we talked about what's going to be interesting to do. And I think like Germany is known as the land of beer, and a beer tasting is always fun, and it's a nice social thing to do. And it's also quite funny, like if you do blind tasting, very few people are able to tell what they are drinking, even if it's a well-known beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, one more thing to say here is probably that if we go to the hackerspace, everyone has to be 18. Like personally, I don't really mind if someone underage shows up and their parents know about it and all that. Like they could just, you know, we could send them home at 10. But I mean, yeah, I can't take responsibility for anyone. So
you can ask for written permission from parents if you're below 18.
Yeah, right. If their parents are fine with them, or if anyone if on the 15th it's going to be clear that we're going to be not at the hackerspace, then I don't really mind. You don't have to be 18. If you're German, I can give you my phone number and talk to your parents and stuff like that. But if we're going to the hackerspace and stuff like the beer tasting, yeah, you should be responsible enough to, you know where your limits are. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, lectures confirmed. MLD is going to do some game analysis apparently, and Co is doing an analysis of 50 players.
Let's get back to the beer tasting. I mean, Huizinga is online. If he wants to say something, he can just write it down in the chat.
You can join us on. You can join us on call if you want.
He can join if he wants. I also thought it'd be cool if everyone who's not coming in by plane could bring a bottle or two from his hometown. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I can take a couple.
And you can bring a lot of stuff from your hometown. I mean, if you have nice liquor or I was thinking, actually, I was in Portugal 2 years ago, and I drank this really nice liquor, but I can't remember the name. So if you're attending and I'm going to remember the name, I would ask you to bring bottle. Yeah.
It should probably be Licor Dopic, Ginginha. So one of those probably. It's like the most famous that we have. But yeah, I'll surely take something. Not sure what exactly.
Yeah, Mod says he can do a game analysis. Initially, he said it would be fun to look at the first games of the Masters. So like him and Master of the Dead and Terminator. I mean, everyone starts somewhere, and you can see these are top players nowadays, and they started probably like we all did, like some really weird games. That would be fun.
Yep.
And Cole said he will do an analysis of the 50-player game, which he won. This was a one-time event by Fizzer when coins were introduced, and I think he won like $100 or something like that.
Whoa.
So this was a 50-player free for all, and Cole has quite a nice track record on big free for all. So yeah, it would be nice.
Okay.
And I haven't really heard back from him. Like whenever I email him, he's on holidays, so I don't know what he's doing right. I will try to email him tomorrow again. So
okay,
maybe,
to confirm.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next slide then, I guess.
Online as well. Yeah, just go on.
Next slide, game concepts. We have FFA starting Friday night maybe, and then big tournaments on Saturday during the afternoon and maybe Sunday. And a multi-day ladder tournament. Die emulator, code templates, roll a die to determine template. Oh, okay. Like we have several templates and we decide on one of them and play that tournament.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically the real-time ladder, right? We have a pool of templates, and then there's a random decision on which one to play. So I would think that would be fun. Like, I haven't really played the MDL lately, but it's very diverse, and yeah, there's a template for everyone.
Yeah, no. Most of the templates there are challenging.
Pardon?
Most of the templates on MDL are challenging and strategic. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, like, and the one question is, do we allow vetoes or are vetoes not allowed?
Yeah, we might end up with a multi-attack template and people will hate it, or a local distribution template.
Like, personally, I hate multi-attack. It's not my thing at all.
Yeah. Okay, next slide. Pricing. Main cost factor is the venue.
One more thing about game concepts. If you have like a game concept that you think is really interesting and works in a live event, you should just write it down and present it at forum. Like, I can do some decisions, but it would be best if everyone chips in, brings in some ideas.
Yuzinga is saying that he would love to see a team tournament as well, 2 versus 2 or 3 versus 3.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, like, communication in team tournaments is like one of the most annoying things. If you do like a multi-day team tournaments, it's like at one point someone is going to get booted or just not able to talk or whatever. So a live team tournament is definitely fun.
That would be awesome in live streaming as well. If we could like hook up all of the computers and have them stream to a central computer, you could have like the screen divided in 4 and you could actually see what each player is doing. That would be awesome. I have to do like a small tutorial to hook up stuff so that it would be like easy for people to configure their own machines to do that.
Like, I googled OBS. And then I looked at one of those tutorials, and then I was okay. Like, I'm not going further. Like, someone has to set it up for me, or like that. There would have been too much time to invest So
yeah,
it would be
I'll
really
do a
cool.
tutorial for that for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that would be really nice.
Once you know what to do, it's relatively easy. You have to set up an Nginx machine on your own main streamer machine, and then you have to configure the OBS on the computer that is streaming each one of the individual ones to send to that machine. So if everything is lined up properly, it's relatively easy. We just have to say which one gets to stream to this and which one gets to stream to that, and just a list of download links for people to install OBS and configure them, like, you know, just create the setup with a game screen showing and maybe your webcam if you have that.
Yeah, and then you said it's not really possible to test this beforehand, or like because of the routers.
Yeah, it only works on local LAN. It's we could do a live stream test, but we would have to get a server on some place, and you usually pay for that, so that's why we don't really do it.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah. Shall we go on to the next slide?
Yeah, just go on.
Okay, so pricing. Main cost factor apparently is the venue. The venue includes projector, table, chairs and Wi-Fi. You can't sleep there, so you need a hotel. Ethernet might be an extra. I think Ethernet would be nice to have. We can survive with Wi-Fi, but at least for the streaming, Ethernet would be nice to be more reliable. And a final decision on venue will be made on the 15th of January.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, most of these things have been mentioned, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking to these two venues, and my favorite would be this hackerspace. And if we don't get the hackerspace, then we'll just go with my university. I got a quotation from them, and they says roughly 700 euros. This is without Ethernet. Like, normally Ethernet is blocked for for outside computers, so I would have to talk to the tech department whether, I mean, it's definitely possible, it's just probably going to cost a bit extra.
People in the chat are asking if you can give a help with finding hotels, so like cheap to the venue, cheap or close to the venue, that kind of thing. So like a listing of hotels would be nice to have.
Yeah, so later on there's a to-do list, and as soon as the venue is decided, we as in the Berlin boys, actually there's a few Warzone players in Berlin, we will give hotel or hostel recommendations. And there's also someone who offered to host a few fellow Warzone players. I don't know, I don't remember who was it, but I actually got a lot of mails and someone said like I can host a few people. Yeah, so
yeah, that would be nice if you're like if you can't afford a hotel or you don't mind being socializing. You don't really need the privacy that much. That would be nice to have as well.
I don't know if is still around, but on one of the development live streams, I once said to him if he ever comes to Berlin, he can crash on my couch. Nowadays, I would probably have to ask my girlfriend first.
Let's move on with the slides. Who will come? So right now apparently we have 30 people who are claiming to go. Well,
who expressed interest. This was before the decision of the date.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been a few extra, and a few already said they can't make it. Like, for example, Model Zoom, he was like, let not go, I can't come. So this is just, yeah, a list that doesn't say too much, except that these people like expressed interest. And then on the right hand side we have the voting results
for the dates.
So there's a few who can't attend on this weekend. I mean, Guardian, he's in the US, he would just attend online, but I think Edge and IE are Germans, so it would be nice to see them. And Bums in the UK, just reschedule your other stuff and attend. I mean, you have to set your priorities straight, right?
Well, but I guess when you know the exact location and you know the exact cost for things, I think people will have a better informed decision if they can make it or not. So I guess that also weights a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when I had this idea, I was like, okay, I will get a quotation like before Christmas, and then you can ask your grandmother to finance it. But it was actually a bit tough to get the quotation because before Christmas everyone is busy. So, and then sadly, the first venue I asked, they already said no, like before New Year's Eve. Yeah, and Myth is German as far as I know.
People are asking if Miffy is German. I think Miffy is Mifran, and I think, well, he is German but living in Sweden, something like that.
Oh, he's German. Okay.
I think so. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Stixie is saying that he's Swedish. Okay, I'm gonna go for Stixie's superior social engineering skills and believe her. So slide number 9. What should you bring? You should bring your friends, a good mood. Boston isn't allowed. I heard Boston is a nice person in person. It's just when he's drunk that he's annoying. So maybe you can bring Boston. Maybe it would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, if Boston is coming, he can come and that's fine. But I've never seen him be nice to anyone. So
you need to offer him cookies.
That's just an urban legend that he's nice.
No, there are games. If you offer him cookies, he will be nice to you.
Yeah,
it's the secret.
I will try next time.
Next time you get insulted by Boston, try offering him a cookie and see how he responds. You'll see. He can come around. About the friends, do you really think it's a good idea? Do we want an event where you have people who don't know what Warzone is at all? Or do we want only people who know what Warzone is?
So yeah, I've been thinking about this. Like, I showed a few of my friends Warzone, and I think the biggest hurdle here is to get them to pay for it. Like, if I would just say, hey, come on, we're going to play Risk Online, I guess there would be a few attending, but if I say, yeah, and you have to pay 20 euro, then they're like, I can spend it otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, in general, I think you should bring your friends. Like, you should probably tell them right now, like, do you want to come? Berlin's a really nice city, and like, I've got this crowd of online Risk players, and we can check it out. And then you introduce them to Warzone, and yeah, make them come along. I know that Mod said he's actually coming with some friends.
Yeah, so, because he had a planned trip to Germany around that date.
Yeah, like when I brought up the Berlin Open in the Skype group, they were like, he was like, no, I'm not gonna come. And then like a week later, he said, I'm going to Berlin anyway. Like, we should do it on this weekend. And like, as it planned out, it's going to be this weekend, and I think he's coming with a few friends. You should really bring them. I mean,
let's see if they are going to show up or not. You should also bring an alt to use as a buy in tournaments. I don't think you really need that. And get in contact with Izinga if you can contribute some special beers for the beer tasting. I'll definitely take some from Portugal. I'll take some local beers from here. An interesting game, like, you mean like a template for people to try out?
No, yeah, I mean, templates are interesting, but also if we do like what are some interesting games of the past year, I thought, I mean, you could just bring something that was good for you personally, or something you watched on the letters or on the live tournaments that you think is like quite a nice example. And I mean, this is a Q&A, right? If you have a question, I'm not really following the chat, you should post in the forum, and then we can answer or try to answer the questions.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions now, I can repeat to Linberson. So just Soli is asking if this is going to be like the Warlight's version of Fight Club. Yeah, you can't talk about it. That's rule number 1. So don't tell anyone about Berlin Open. And PP Gugu is asking, how do you say I love you in German? So this one is for you.
Who's asking this?
PP Gugu.
I mean, German in general is a bit hard, but I think I love you is easy. It's just ich liebe dich.
Okay. So there you go. Information.
No, yeah, of course Kezo knows it. Oh.
Okay, let's move on to slide number 10, I guess, which is your to-do list, apparently. Promotion, bring your friends, clanmates, etc. Venue, A plus B. This is apparently what you're doing. Sign up form, money transfer setup, beer tasting, cultural recommendations, accommodation recommendations, time schedule, etc. Anything you want to say about this slide?
Yeah, I think if you just switch to the next slide for a moment, the most important thing for everyone here is really promotion. Bring your friends, bring your clanmates, try to convince them to attend. I think it's going to be awesome.
So who is convincing Fizzer to attend?
Fizzer said he's going to look at plane tickets, so I don't know if he's still around.
Fizzer, if you're around, have you already looked at plane tickets? How much do they cost? Can you pay them using Warlight coins?
So I think I would really ask Awesome if he comes, but yeah, I can also understand if he doesn't come. So
Boston would be great to have. We should try to talk with old legendary players that haven't been around, like in, I don't know, Gnufone, Gui, Schwenningen, that Biggie, you know, those players. Maybe they would be interested, you know, just to sightsee the city, and it would be cool because they still know the old game. So it would be nice to meet those people. So if you have contacts with the people, with old retired warlighters, I mean, send them an information to that the Open is happening. Maybe they'll be interested in coming back just to check out the event live. Yuzinga saying that Fizzer told me that the plane is too expensive, but he plans to join via stream. Boo! Fizzer needs to fly here. And Min is asking if Gnufone is not around. Yeah, Gnufone still plays now and again. So, Soli is asking for Aranka. That would be awesome. We definitely need yet another Aranka thread. I think she's a very high personality person, so she should actually be an awesome person to talk with live. It's just on the forums it would always devolve into a soap opera. But and she was a skilled player, so she would be more than welcome in my book. Yeah, Latnox, I should ping Latnox, asking if him and Fridge would show up, because I mean they're both friends. So I should definitely.
I actually emailed Latnox, and sadly I haven't heard back from him. So.
Did you mail him on his actual email or in Warlight?
Yeah, on his actual email. Like,
okay.
I've got a few contacts from the old GG guard.
I have him on Steam, so I'll ask him on Steam if he's interested in showing up.
Him, it would be nice. And I'm also trying to convince Ollie. Like, he's basically retired. I think he's been playing a few QMs, and he said he's going to check out his schedule. Yeah.
Soli is stalking Aranka. She's only been idle for 1,110 days, so that's like 3 years, almost 3 years. So 2 years and a half maybe. So yeah, if someone has her contact, please contact her. That would be awesome if she would show up.
I mean, if you look at Fisher, like the job he's doing, he's developing Warzone. I think it's the perfect job to actually travel a bit, right? You can just come to Berlin, book a plane ticket, and then, you know, do Europe.
Like, when else are you gonna have this opportunity to come to Europe? You can sightsee and do work at the same time. Like, networking. It's important. So you should definitely come.
If he comes, there will be enough people to, you know, show him around.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's it.
I'm planning to stay 1 or 2 more days as well to sightsee. My girlfriend also wants to come to Berlin because she never sightseed Berlin properly, so I'll probably be around at least Monday. I'll be around. I don't know if Tuesday I'll be around much because I have 2 rabbits back home and they can't last more than 3 days alone. Well, they can, but the conditions are not optimum. So I'm planning to stick around at least Sunday night and the Monday to sightsee stuff as well. So if anyone wants to hang around and see some things, that would be cool. So just send me a message.
There's actually someone who plans to attend, who's doing sightseeing tours, and this is Dr. Awkward from the clan is called Monster Kill. And he said he would do a free tour for everyone who's interested.
Okay, that might be interesting, yeah.
It's cool. And there, yeah, if you have questions, I mean, we're going to post a few things that are really worth checking out. Yeah, but if you have questions, you can also just ask me.
Okay, anyone in the chat has any last questions before we end the stream? Or Linberson, do you have anything else you would like to say
there
that
was,
haven't...
There was Christoph, or Shishu, or however you pronounce it, you know, from Outlaws. He asked whether he could join late. And I think the point here is that it would be nice to have them, and it would be also very nice to know whether people will attend, you know. We need to finance the venue, this is one point. And then if there's more than 30 who want to come, we also need to check whether we can get a different room or whether the venue is big enough. So yeah, I wouldn't really mind if someone just shows up on Friday evening and is like, oh, here I am. But
it would be nice to have like an information that you're coming, just so we can plan things a bit better in terms of space.
Definitely. Yeah.
Stixie is asking if there's going to be an exam after the lectures. Yes, there is going to be an exam, Stixie. And you will probably get an F.
Lectures is probably the wrong term. Like some
should name it talks or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, talks or, I mean, yeah. Like Master of Disaster asked something similar, and I said like, I mean, lecture can be anything. You should just, you know, this is about knowledge or about something funny. And if Master of Disaster wants to teach us how he puts in all his orders with a chocolate bar, that would be fun as well. Whatever you want, just make it something interesting.
So 2 questions on the chat. PP Gugu apparently didn't hear the beginning of the stream. He's asking where the location will be. It's not defined yet, but he's asking if it's like in a hotel room, in a conference room, what kind of space it is. So do you want to quickly repeat that part, Linberson, for people who only showed up now?
Yeah, so there's 2 venues. One's a hackerspace. This is quite crazy, but also really cool. They have a small conference room and something called the main hall, which is, they have like a bar and like some space to sit around. And the other venue is my university, and then it would be just a normal conference room.
Okay, Tito has another question. Can everyone that didn't attend take part in the stream? Yes, of course. We are streaming, so you people can check. So as long as we have internet, we will stream, and you can take part.
I would really try to make it possible to attend even if you can't come to Berlin. So there will be a few things online and you can attend that way.
Yep. Any last questions from anyone on the chat?
Did anyone ask any questions on the forum? I didn't check.
I haven't been checking the forums either, so Tito is saying would be cool if you broadcast it with a webcam too. Yes, we are planning to do that. Even trying to have like two computers where you can see both games, two people playing their own side of the game and then showing both sides on the stream with comments on top of it. So that would be the ideal, and have that probably projected on the big screen as well at the event, so people can see what people are playing while they are playing. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, so my last words would probably be, you should just, first of all, you should attend, like wherever you are. It would be nice to have you here in Berlin. And second of all, you should bring all your friends, your Warzone friends and your real life friends, make them attend as well. And then I would really like to have some input on lectures, like everyone who comes, would be nice if they have something to say, something interesting, or, you know,
yep,
a good game that they wish to be analyzed or that they can analyze, or there's a forum thread about it. I put down some suggestions. It's if you just search for Berlin Open in the forums, it will pop up.
So go there to the forums, leave your comments, and go check out the plane tickets, how cheap they are, and make your way to Berlin Open. So yeah, I think that's it for this live stream. Thank you everybody for showing up, and thank you Linberson for both organizing the Berlin Open and for joining us for this little Q&A to give a little more information to people.
Yeah, and if anyone has any more questions, you can just send me an email.
Yep, so I think that's it. Bye bye everyone, see you around, take care.
Bye bye.